Every once in a while, a watch comes along that absolutely changes everything. It changes what you think of watchmaking, what you think is possible, the detail and precision that can be achieved. The watch I'm featuring today will completely change every perception that you have of what is possible of Chinese watchmaking and watchmaking as a whole. Hi guys, my name is Jason and I am your watch guy today. I'm also a watch guy in mourning today because the watch I'm going to feature for you is the best watch I have ever been sent to review. And this review marks its time to go back home. The brand is called Atelier Wen and this is their Perception. Let's get into it. This is by far my favorite piece I have had the opportunity to review over the last 4 years. I understand while saying that that's a huge claim. I genuinely do not believe that I have ever seen this level of craftsmanship in watchmaking before this piece. This isn't your average £2,600 watch. This is way beyond. I've seen pieces 4 times the value. I've held them, I've assessed them, I've reviewed them for you guys, and they don't come close. An integrated sports watch isn't something that's new to the channel. We've seen it before, but this casing, however, is an absolutely new beast. This elegance is achieved in 904L stainless steel. This is one of the more uncommon steels used in watchmaking. You will find it with the likes of Rolex, but when it is used, it offers a softer touch to the skin, a much more pleasurable fit to wrist, and when it is finished to this level, it gives a much more pleasing look to the eye. The concave high polished bezel gives an almost deceptive look to the flow into the casing. The entire head of this watch is precise beyond belief. The upper casing looks to be flat, however there is a slight curve meeting in the center of those lug pieces. The chamfered edges flow from lug to lug and then continue into the bracelet. They are a high polished finish and they accent the brushed levels to the casing perfectly, especially along that side profile. The upper and lower edge to the casing are chamfered and polished, and that almost frames the brushing in between. As well as framing that lineal brushing to the sides, those chamfered edges also give the illusion of a much thinner casing, as does the matching polished bezel. Let's talk about the dimensions to this piece. In diameter from corner to corner is 40.8 millimeters. However, straight across it gives a diameter of 39.7 millimeters, and this watch really does fit more like a 38. It's 9.6 millimeters thick. It has a lug to lug of 46.6 millimeters. The integrated bracelet has a 13 millimeter fit to it. Looking at this case for the first time, you may just think that it's an inventive way to frame that insane dial, but that simply isn't the case. The flanks of the case are inspired by the silhouettes of pagodas, traditional Chinese buildings, and the tops of the lugs are reminiscent of roofing. Traditional Chinese buildings are the perfect inspiration for this case, as it houses Atelier Wen's prowess in watchmaking. The sapphire crystal is subtly double domed with levels of AR coating to ensure perfect visibility. The crown is set apart from the casing as a whole, and it has a fantastic level of grip and a good size to it. It's signed and screwed down as you would expect. You can see the very elegant Atelier Wen logo on the edge of that crown. The case back is as much of a work of art as the rest of the watch. The semi-display caseback is embossed with a motif of a traditional Chinese lion. The deep embossing of that stone lion is accented beautifully by a hammered texture to really set it all apart. I really love the effect that this rotor adds to the caseback. While the rotor covers that display, it almost gives the lion the effect of grinning or smirking. While it rotates, however, you can see the balance wheel to the movement oscillating perfectly. The balance wheel is the beating heart of the SL1588 original caliber movement, boasting a 38-hour power reserve, a 10-second differential, and beautiful decoration. It was created by Peacock and heavily customized for the use of Atelier Wen. That rotor is a black coated tungsten rotor, again impeccably finished. The dial is truly what sets this apart from anything else I have seen in the watchmaking world. This is not your average Gillisay dial. The guilloche pattern is hand carved by one of the 30 guilloche masters in the world. It takes 8 hours of detailed hand carving to finish one dial, and if one step is missed or if there's a slight lapse in concentration, it means starting all over again. Master Cheng, who creates these dials, is the only guilloche master in China, and his work is just insane to look at. I personally cannot fathom the intricacy that goes into such work. This pale blue finish is the Piao dial, and they have 2 other options available, but this one for me is just the pinnacle. The mixture of straight and curved etching to the dial plays with lights and shadows like nothing else. The indices are embedded into the dial separately and angled towards the center. The dimensions to the chaptering show how well thought out each section of this dial is. The 4-layer assembly to the dial follows the Sun Mao technique, which in layman's terms is friction-based assembly. No glue, no screws, nothing like that. This is all precisely made perfectly to fit together. The chaptering has a beautiful Hui Wen decoration to it, and that is printed in X1 Superluminova. The decoration is also precisely sized to double as a minute track. The Atelier Wen logo and brand name is embossed at the 12 o'clock, again in an impeccable finish. The handset is rhodium plated and in a leaf shape design, a much more bold leaf-like handset to fit the sports characteristic of this piece. They are also loomed with X1 Superluminova. Something that you can't miss at first sight with this handset is that second hand. It is angled precisely towards the minute track to give you a much more precise readability of the time, as it sweeps perfectly throughout the outer dial. Let's have a look at that loom signature. This is the loom shot for the Atelier Wen Perception. The chaptering is fully loomed, and that is our minute markers also. So you do definitely get a really good visibility of the time telling. The loom to the handset is incredibly well spread. They haven't cheaped out on this one at all. As well as that, I really do like the design to the minute track. I think out of 10, I need to give this one a 9. It's all really well applied, as well as that the little trick to the minute track really does help the readability of it. Often enough, to plenty of brands on the market, the bracelet is the second thought to the watch, or even in some cases an afterthought. That's not the case with Atelier Wen. This integrated bracelet follows the exemplary design to the casing and even flows with the chamfered polished edges throughout, flowing all the way through into the clasp and back around into the head of the casing. The hexagonal H-link bracelet gives a fantastic fit to the wrist. The brushing flows perfectly with the upper casing and is elegantly refined throughout. The clasp is also brushed with chamfered polished edges, but it hides a couple of secrets. The Atelier Wen logo sits in the center of that clasp, and it is beautifully finished and accented with the same hammered technique that you see on the case back. But this also hides the secret genius to Atelier Wen's clasp. That logo is actually a push button for the on-the-fly adjustment to get you that perfect fit. They have not overthought a single thing, and this is the first time that I've ever seen this used. It's exceptional, and as I say, genius. Beyond that, they have a telescopic blade in the milled clasp. This means that you can extend the clasp to get it over your hand to fit, but also it means that you can close it back up together and it gives you a much more comfortable and precise fit to the wrist. Genuinely probably the most comfortable sports watch I've ever worn. Let's see how it looks on my wrist. This is the Perception on wrist, and as I was already saying in the earlier sections, it fits more like a 38mm watch. The bracelet fits perfectly to my wrist. We do have an on-the-fly adjustment, as mentioned, and that is really one of the biggest selling points to that clasp for me. I absolutely love this watch. It's just beautiful to wear. They've done an amazing job. For the last 4 years of reviewing watches, I've always offered a complaint section, a moan section, a where I'd like to see the brand do better section. But with this piece in particular, I have nothing. For me, it's absolutely perfect. If I could change anything, it'd be that it wasn't £2,600, and that is simply because I don't have £2,600 to spend on a watch at the moment. However, with that being said, this craftsmanship, this genius, this execution is worth way more than that. I've seen watches with 4 times this price tag that I can pick holes in, but not this. I hope to see one of these in my collection in the near future. This has really given me a bug, given me an itch to scratch, and I think this will be the next luxury watch that I treat myself to, because as I say, it's absolutely perfect. Thanks for watching today, guys. The Atelier Wen website is in the description. If you can stump up this type of cash, if you are looking for a luxury watch that outdoes anything else in the price range, this is the one. Go and check them out. Thank you to them for sending this in. As I've said, this is going to be the saddest day sending it back home, but I've enjoyed it nonetheless. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.